Does your lob either go long or get smashed away? Here are 5 tips to make sure you master that lob and never be smashed on again. Lobbing is often seen in a negative light, but it is a vital part of the game. When there's players in the net in singles or doubles, the space is behind them, so you must be able to access it. We are going to talk about different types of lobs, we're going to talk about how to do them, when to do them, and what not to do. So stay tuned for my top 5 tips for being an effective lobber. It's not a negative shot, it's a necessity to use it on some occasions and in others to make sure you can turn your opponents around, use the whole space on the court, and really make them think twice about coming forwards and attacking you. So if you want to learn to lob, stay tuned. The first thing we need to discuss is the different types of lob. There is of course the topspin lob. When you're using this as a really aggressive shot, you've been attacked, 2 people or 1 person in singles attacking the net, and you come up the ball, you generate topspin, and you're looking to have a high, fast, whipping, dipping lob that bounces and spits up that they can't run back and get. We also have what we like to call a little push lob. Normally when you're defending, and instead of coming up the ball, you just get your racket underneath the ball and you just lift it back up. That is going to be much more a defensive option. You're certainly going to try and get it up and over your opponent, but it's one that they'll probably be able to run back. Maybe they might even get the chance to smash from deep, or be able to run back and get and continue the rally. Whereas at topspin lob, you're trying to get it over and past them. So as we go through these tips, we're going to make sure we're very specific of which lob we're talking about, how we can use topspin to generate that more attacking lob, and how we can be more secure and bump the ball back up when required when defending with the lob as well. So make sure you have those very much split in your mind so you understand which lob you are trying to use. I'm now going to split these 2 lobs into the topspin and the bunt. So when we're playing a topspin lob, we need to make sure we're utilizing the correct sensation. Now, a sensation is the way that the racket and the strings feel in contact with the ball. And if we pick the right one, all the rest of our shot, our follow through, our racket angle, our leg drive will all follow. Because I need height, I really need to roll up the ball. Because I don't want it to go low and obviously get volleyed, I need to roll up, so I'm going to have a high finish and my racket is going to come from underneath the ball in a long vertical motion, and to me that feels like I'm rolling up the back of the ball. For other people it might be more of a brush coming straight up, or maybe even a sweep. It doesn't really matter what it is to you, as long as you find a sensation that matches the outcome of the shot that you want, in this case being high, loopy and spinny. That is going to get that ball up and over your opponents, but with the spin to kick on and not allow them to run back and cover. So choose the right sensation. I recommend starting with something like a roll. So we have just gone through the sensation of how to use the lob with topspin, that rolling up the ball, trying to get revs onto it. Now, the more defensive lob, the bunt, when there is pace on the ball, we don't need to add spin to it. We need to make sure we get a nice, solid, controlled contact. And again, we need to pick the right sensation. We're trying to lift the ball back up. Maybe we're trying to push the ball back up. We're making sure that our racket angle goes open, so the ball goes up with no spin. And we're looking to just push straight up and through to get it up over, using the pace that's already on the ball to generate the height and the depth we need to get it over that net player or those net players. Again, you may find a different sensation works better for you. It may not be a push, it may be a drive, it may be a lift. It doesn't really matter, as long as when you have that sensation in your mind, the racket angle opens, the contact is solid, your racket follows up through the ball, and you get the right speed and the right elevation required to get it over them. So pick a sensation that fits the bunt. I like to push, but use whatever you need. One of the most important things is when to actually lob. It seems obvious, but when and which of these 2 lobs to use is very important. Obviously, the more defensive bunt option you're going to use when the ball is fast and deep. So you've been pushed back, your opponent or opponents in doubles are both rushing the net, and all you can do is open that racket face, get under the ball and lift it back up to try and keep yourself in the point. What they want you to do in that occasion is to try and drive it back, is to try and keep pace on the ball and play right into their hands as volleyers. Conversely, the topspin lob, you are attacking, and there is a key moment to use this, and I see people get it wrong all the time. When you're playing doubles especially, if someone or a team approaches the net with no pace on the ball and it's deep, that is when you lob. As soon as there is pace on the ball, that's when you change to the bunt if you're going to lob. If the pace comes off, that's when you need to use topspin to accelerate the ball, and that's when you can use that more attacking, dipping, whipping lob up and over them really quickly. So it's all about the speed of the incoming ball. When the ball is slow, we use topspin to accelerate it back up. When the ball is fast, that is when we change to the bunt and we just push that ball back up and over defensively. A successful lob really can open up opportunities for you to counter-attack. You can go from a position of defending into one of attacking. And that can be off either of these different lobs. Whether you've bunted up and over them or lobbed them, you've turned them round, you've got them running back, whether that's singles or doubles. Now, the best little sneak attack is to come forwards yourself. Very often people run back for a lob, they're going to struggle to just get their racket on it. If you move in, you're very unlikely to get past. You may get lobbed, but the chance of getting a successful lob against you are very slim. You should pick up some smashes, you should pick up the ability to hit some winners. Generally, if your opponents are under pressure, you want to move forwards anyway. After a lob is a great time. People don't expect it, they can't see you coming in. They lift the ball back up, you turn around and there you are, bang, point over. So follow your lobs forwards. If you're successful in getting them to turn, obviously if they're about to smash the ball down, maybe stay back. But if you're successful in getting them to turn and run back, follow in behind it and turn that defensive shot into an attacking opportunity. There are my 5 key tips to mastering the lob. We have talked about using topspin lobs to attack, bunting lobs to defend, but we always do them when we're deep and we choose that correct one based on the speed of the ball. If it's fast, we bunt. If it's slow, we use topspin. Of course, if you're successful, you've got to follow it in. You've got to take control of the point. Those are the core things to remember. If you have enjoyed this tip and want other top 5s of key things you need to learn to do on a tennis court, or if you want to get longer in-depth videos on really specific details, then this is the channel to be on. Thank you very much for watching. Please give us a subscribe and we'll see you very soon on the next video.